Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here with TheWolfpack, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a wayscape and pauldron for your custom clones. In this example, I guess, I'm going to be using my future to be Captain Rex, which you can see that I pretty much finished. This is going to be, well, the figure is going to be part of my building a custom army collaboration project with Bricks and Minifigs 1078. But a lot of people have been asking, how did I make the pauldron for Rex? So I was like, well, why not just go ahead and do a tutorial on it. It'll be much easier for everyone to understand. So here it is, and I hope that you enjoy this and that it helps you to make your own pauldrons and wayscapes for your custom clones, captains, and commanders. So let's get on to the things that you will need. So you will need, of course, some paint, at least for the version that I am doing, and you will need some metal. I am using the canned soda can metal, and it works fine for what you'll need. Then you'll need, or at least I recommend using tweezer beads. Pretty much these tweezers, you put pressure and they open, you don't put pressure and they close. And I use a toothpick to paint, so it's up to you what utensil you use to paint. And you will need some super glue. I got that right here. Some fabric. I got this little piece of fabric right here. And some scissors and a hole punch cutter. So first you'll need the fabric. I am using a normal generic bandana fabric, but I did paint the surface with black. That is so that it doesn't break apart when you're cutting it, or else it'll be too flimsy and it'll start falling apart, breaking with just the fabric, so the paint keeps it together. So you will need a size about this long, it's about 2 inches or so, of fabric for the wayscape. So I hope that is actually enough. I haven't really measured it with a real ruler or anything, but pretty much we're gonna take the figure, or I guess the legs, which I will take apart right now, and we're gonna try and wrap this piece around the legs. And I usually try to wrap a little bit on the front of the leg just to keep it a little bit accurate. And as you can see, it does wrap around the entire figure just like I wanted to, and there's even some extras. So I will take this and I will cut it right now. And also the height, I usually like them to be over the foot, but we can always trim it after. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. So there we go. About this size of a piece is alright, and this is more than enough fabric, so we are good. So the first thing that I do is I pretty much just put a little dot of paint on one of the corners. So I will do this off camera, but you pretty much get the idea of what I'm doing right now. So I put super glue on a little bit on one of the corners, and then I put the corner of the fabric on one of them. And pretty much the line, or I guess the mark for it, is the leg mark. I guess the line, the black line in Rex's leg, or I guess in any clone's leg. And what I'm talking about is that line right there. Pretty much just get it aligned with that line. I am doing half of the line, so that is my mark. So we glued this, it's dried because it's only like a little drop of super glue. And then what I do is I put glue on the entire back section. So I will go ahead and do that right now. And also, one thing you can do is cut a little V part back here for extra accuracy, which is what I'm gonna do first. But pretty much just put this all the way around, hold it in place so that you have an idea, and just go ahead and cut it. And I just cut a little V piece. It's not something huge or anything, but pretty much just go like that and then go like that. I can barely see this. There we go. There we go. And I'll just pull that piece out because it didn't fall out. There we go. So there we have a neat V cut out, and it's already more accurate. So I'll go ahead and put the super glue back here, and I am trying to hurry up because I don't want this to be a super boring video tutorial. So I put the super glue on, and I am putting the fabric onto place, and there we have it. It's onto place, and it's pretty much dried already because it's super glue and it dries pretty quick. And so the last step, of course, is to wrap this entire thing around, but we are going to trim this. So yeah, take your scissors and pretty much just trim as much as it is necessary. And this is pretty much just eye work. You pretty much have to measure it yourself, which kind of sucks. So let's see if my little method works. And of course that was too small of a cut, so that sucks, but oh well. Yes, it's too late for that. So I made a cut so too small, it appears. So I'm gonna try and do something. Sometimes you can stretch the fabric, sometimes you cannot. So I'm trying to stretch the fabric out. Of course, it's not too much of a stretch, but I think it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue the remaining piece onto place. Sorry if I'm doing this off camera, it's just that it's much easier for me. But pretty much you get the idea. So I gotta trim something from the other side for it to look better. Sometimes I do need to like literally pull the fabric off the corner of the piece so that I can trim it or something, which is what I'm doing right now. You have to be careful so that you don't ruin the entire cape. So there we go, and now it'll seem accurate on both sides. Just bear with me a little bit, and you will see the results. So here it is. As you can see, I did scratch off a little bit of that black line, but I'll fix that. And now the hardest part of the entire tutorial, it is to make the pauldron. And you will take your metal. I guess I can go ahead and fix this already. So what I'm doing is I am gonna repaint some spots that have like super glue excess and that black line on the leg. and it always works. I like doing that so that it doesn't look like a mess, but it is totally up to you guys. It's just that doing clone armor is sometimes a little tedious, but it's already been 10 minutes and a half, and we are just halfway through. I really am trying to speed through this, so it's not a boring video for you. Maybe I can do it in 20 minutes. So now, one thing you can do is that after your fabric is in place and all that, you can paint on the edges of it with the appropriate color according to the figure that you're doing. For example, I'm doing Rex, so I will paint the edges of it blue, just like in the show, but I will do that after the tutorial. So yeah, so for the pauldron, you will need the metal, and you will need the fabric, of course. And I don't think this piece of fabric is going to be enough, so we may have to go and get some more. But for the metal piece, the size of that is enough. The metal is just gonna be there to hold the fabric, I guess the pauldron, in place. So I will go ahead and cut out a small square, nothing too large. It's just so that the pauldron is in place. So we need the torso as well. And let's see if this is gonna work out. I guess it could. I'm not sure if it's gonna work out, but I'll just go ahead and cut out another piece just to be sure, because I don't want to ruin this. This seems like too large of a piece, but it'll be alright. So about this size of a piece you will cut out, and it'll be more than enough. And you will take the metal, and you will put it right under it, and your goal is to be able to make a hole in the center of this, which is sometimes a little hard depending on how good your hole puncher machine is. So you will make a hole right about there in the center of it, so and go ahead and do the hole. There we go. That is looking good. So after this, you will go to your figure and you will put this on the neck, and it should fit just nicely, a little loosely, but it'll be alright. Then you will bend the entire thing forward and backward so that it holds onto place, as well as the beginning of the pauldron shape starts looking like a pauldron, if I word that correctly. So I might have caught a too small of a metal piece, so I will do that again, which sucks, but it's pretty much me repeating that same step. So I'll probably cut the video, and I will come back when I have this whole thing done. So here I have the pauldron pretty much how you want to have it, and I know when you're first folding it, because that's what you have to do, you have to fold it just like that on both sides, of course, but we will fold the other side in just a second. But first it'll look too small, but don't worry about it. because it'll be just fine when you put it on the figure. So I will go ahead and I will fold the other half because it's a little hard, and I will come back once it's folded. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, so I have both sides folded, and right now all that is left pretty much is just trimming the pauldron to the size and the shape that we want it, because right now of course it's kind of squared. So you take your scissors and or I guess you can pull the pauldron out. It should look like this, and just as you can see, the metal holds the pauldron onto place, so that is really nice. So I will go ahead and I will trim this. I don't know if I can do it on camera, but pretty much just trim a little bit on this. You pretty much are gonna have to trim around that. For example, just so that it's not too much to this side, too much outward, you will have to trim it a little bit, and then you have to go, I guess it's narrow right here, and then a little bit sharper on this side, because that's how it is shaped. So I will go ahead, I will cut the video, and I will cut this out, and I will tell you, or I guess show you what I mean. So you have the pauldron, and it is the desired shape and size, as far as for me, of course. And but this is pretty much the shape that I was talking about. Just trim this side a little bit so that it's not too far out, and then this is a little bit narrow, and this side of course the back as well, and then this side is a little bit sharper or smaller of a turn. So you do that on both sides. The back doesn't really matter if it's the same size, but I usually try to make the pauldron go up to, or I guess down, until this line of the chest, not any further, because then it'll look too large. So you put on the head and the helmet, which I'll do that, and so yeah, you do that. You put on the legs, and pretty much what's left really is just painting on the design onto the entire thing. Pretty much, I'm not gonna do this on the tutorial. You can do this by yourself, but pretty much just draw on with gray paint is what I use. The shapes, I guess triangles, so I'll do that a couple times, not the entire thing, but pretty much just pull out a picture of Rex and try to copy the design on it. I will explain a little bit of the pauldron in a little bit. Let me just paint one or two of the triangles. I guess triangles, even though they're not exactly triangles, they do have four sides, is what I'm trying to say, but they do look like a triangle. So of course the triangles all have a different size, so you're gonna have to be very careful to size them correctly. I know this is a little bit boring, but I am almost done with one of them. I am trying to make this quick. So yeah, I think we have one of them, so go ahead and show you that. So this is one of them. It is roughly one. I still gotta retouch it a little bit, but basically this one is gonna have some blue paint on it. So you paint on the entire design around the pauldron gray, and then the 6 triangles, or I guess pieces, on this side of the shoulder are gonna have blue. So this piece is gonna have blue, the second piece right next to it is gonna have blue, then on top, it's up to you. You can draw 2 more. These are gonna be rectangles, those are gonna be blue, and then the back 2 ones are gonna have blue as well. And then I think I draw on 4 more pieces, 3 or 4 more. Those are gonna be blank, or I guess gray, and then 2 more rectangles, those are gonna be gray, and then the remaining ones are gonna be gray. So only the 2, 2, and 2. So that's pretty much how you're gonna do that. That is my tutorial, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was all clear. Oops, and I'm knocking the camera around. That is pretty much it for Rex. I do have a showcase coming up for him, as well as Cody and the Anakin Skywalker. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.